I'm in a command group, because obviously I need to work on my command a little bit. So we're doing a bunch of different drills to help us out a lot. Like we have one of those strike zone pocket things, and we never throw the same object. Like we can go from a softball to a plyo ball to a clean fuego ball to an actual baseball. And the philosophy behind that is, if you can throw any 4 of these different things where you want to throw it, it should be no problem with the baseball, which makes a lot of sense, and I really like those type of drills.
What was the third thing you said?
A clean fuego ball.
I've never heard of that.
It's a baseball.
Yeah.
Everything's a baseball. Same 5 ounce. It's just a cylinder type of thing, and you try and keep the ball as flat as possible. And if anything's somewhat wrong, the ball's shake, and you'll see it.
Is that the first time you used that? Or?
No, I had one. My stepmom got me it for Christmas, and been using that ever since.
What has that kind of taught you about your command as far as the areas you can improve? How does that kind of lead to action for you?
It's actually really nice for me. I struggle with my fastball inside to right-handers and outside to left-handers, so just arm side fastballs, they let me work on whatever I want. Like, they don't tell me throw the ball here. It's like, if you want to work on that pitch, work on it. So it really is helping out a lot.
That kind of seems like something Cam was just saying about sort of the atmosphere as a whole here is kind of letting you focus on what you want to do to get better and kind of individualizing it to a certain extent. How have you kind of seen that?
Yeah, it is player first. Like, if you want to work on something, you come to the coach and say, all right, well, let's make a plan and attack from there. But if I don't like some of the drills, I can just say it and we'll find something new. So it's really is cool.
First year pro balls in the books. Was it what you expected? What do you think you took away from it?
Definitely a lot more. Bit of a culture shock at some points. But it was really a lot of fun. Like, me and the guys, no matter where we're all from, it's just, we have a certain glue together, and it was just really fun to see, because coming from high school to pro ball, I thought it was just going to be like every man for himself, but honestly it felt the same thing. Like, all the guys, like, we're all just super close, and we all kept in contact in some way, shape, or form out in the off season. And when we come back here, it's just like, oh, it's you again. Like, here we go.
Jared, how do you handle, you're mentioning like the control group and breaking that up with different pitches? Like, do you have a day where you spend working on locating your fastball specifically, or breaking stuff, or a changeup? Like, do you how do you apply different pitches to also the control?
Like how I said before, it is player first, so whatever the player wants. Like, you can work on fastball one day, and you can just work on off speed the whole next day. But I kind of like just doing all 4 of my pitches all in one time, so I can see if I'm pushing my changeup or letting my slider get over here to the right. So it's it really is whatever that player wants for that day.
What else have you kind of taken into the off season as far as working on the command? Obviously, it seems like the focus here, but is there anything you've done or kind of set out as a goal?
Really just getting stronger. Ever since high school, when I hit 99, I've always wanted 100, and here I am about a year and a half, 2 years later, still at 99. So I really want that 100.
I feel like it's got to come at that point, right?
Yeah,
You're sniffing on the door.
Yeah.
Do you count 99.5 or?
I had a 99.6 or something this year, and we were playing at Tampa, I think, and Tampa doesn't have their scoreboard for the radar gun on, so if it would have rounded up to 100, I would have taken that. But yeah, I guess it's just 99.6 from now.
I hope I'm not making this up, but I think over COVID, did you learn a changeup? Or was
I
that
learned a curveball.
Curveball. Okay.
Curveball,
But you've
yeah.
had it, and you've had the changeup.
Yeah.
Has that always been fairly natural to you? And like, what kind of work are guys doing now on changeup? Like at this camp specifically, like, is that a point of emphasis for anybody specific?
I mean, you do really just come in here, do whatever you want, and then we'll have, I think we have like 10, 12 pitching coaches here, and you say, hey, what do you see when I'm throwing this curveball compared to my changeup, compared to my fastball? And I'll tell you exactly how they see it, and then you just work on it from there.
Okay.
How does that develop over the course of a regular season? It's one thing to do it in the backyard. During COVID times, it's different to have, actual feedback from hitters.
I think in the off season where there's no actual hitters, you get a sense of feel of where your arms are. Like, the coach will tell you, like, oh, like your front side's pulling out, or your slider's over here compared to your fastball being here, and you just have to sort of get a sense of feel for it. And then when you do get that sense of feel, everything just comes natural.
Jared, I know you haven't been here terribly long, but have you seen the Pirates, even in your short time, sort of take steps toward more of an advanced approach with pitching? And,
Yeah.
And what does that look like?
Yeah, everything's really individualized for every different pitcher. So I think that's probably one of the biggest steps. I don't know how it was before, but like coming into seeing that was huge for me because I'm not like the typical pitcher. Like I don't like doing plyo balls. I don't know what it is. It's just not my thing. I've never done it. But they came up with a new sort of a plan for me to get loose before a game or even just before catch play, and that's crossover symmetry, which I've also never done, but it makes arm feel pretty good. So
Crossover symmetry.
Yeah,
What is that?
it's different weighted bands.
Okay.
It's literally they're both two separate things. They're lined up with your shoulders, and then the one on this side you grab with your right arm, literally just cross over, and you just do the same thing with both arms.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you vetoed anything else? Like where you said, I don't want to do this. This doesn't work for me. Like a lot of what you're saying is it's very individual.
It's really
does that
just
happen a lot?
just plyo balls. Like that's just my number one thing. Like I never done it. I felt great in high school, just not doing them, and then I came here, just tried them out. Didn't feel too good, so I just dropped it, and there was no problem with it.
What's the atmosphere at this camp like, kind of just as far as having so many pitchers in the same organization under the same roof at the same time? Are you guys like geeking out about pitch grips, kind of trying to learn from each other? What's kind of the environment?
It's almost like a friendly competition, to be honest. Like it's really cool to see. For my group specifically, we have different targets in different games, and it's just all right. Like let's say one of my buddies gets 2, another one gets 1, another one gets 2. It's like all right, I'm gonna step in there. I'm gonna go get 3 and just celebrate and showboat all for you guys. It's really fun. It really is fun.
That's cool.
Any friendly bets or anything that you got, like competitions you
No,
guys have going?
no bets, but
Just one-on-one up each other.
yeah, just bragging rights for now.